Now, given that visualizing data was what we do, the idea of working with Nigel and the IBM team using live data from a boat traveling at over 100 miles an hour out on the ocean, taking that data, pumping it up to the cloud, analyzing it, pumping it back down to us onshore so we could then send it to Nigel in the boat and to his onshore crew was an opportunity that was just too good to miss. Even though the phone call we got asking us to do it came 3 weeks ago. And we talk about doing things fast, we talk about doing things at speed. This has been an incredibly eye-opener to see how fast this stuff could come together, because we're just going to fire it up. I'll ask John over there. I feel like one of those magicians in the Mandalay, you know, my lovely assistant John here. But this is magical. So we fired it up. What you're looking at here is 3 weeks of work with a team working out. Well, John and his team were up in Alicante setting up the Volvo Ocean Race. Nigel was in San Diego. The IBM team were in Florida. And we had our programmers down, as Nigel said, one stop from the South Pole, pulling this stuff together. Now we're looking at the stuff here. We're seeing the kind of standard stuff that we do. We're getting the GPS, which tells us Nigel's boat speeds. We can see how far he is in front. We can, if you just take us out a little bit there, John, and when somebody comes around the corner, we could see the distance and differences. We put up the leaderboards. This is the kind of standard stuff we're doing now. And of course, because we're in the cloud, we can choose any country in the world, and John chose Naples because we're just off the coast of Italy there, and you can see the distance. Nigel's in front now. But John chose Naples because he reckons they sell the best pizza in the world. We're going to go down and have a look at Naples on the way past, and maybe later in the day he could actually go and show you where he buys those pizzas. So Nigel, if you come in now, because what's been really great about this project is normally we're pulling in the kind of data that gives us these results, and as you see, John's just moving around this boat in real time. But I'm going to get John now to ask him to fire up Nigel's cockpit, because we're getting sources of data from 40 different places on each of 2 engines. So there's 80 streams of data coming to us now in real time, up to the cloud, down to here. That could be really confusing, but here, Nigel, we just saw the important thing for you is that you're seeing this data, your onshore crew seeing it, and there we go, you've got water pressure.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Starboard engine. Well, in this case, because there's 2 engines in the boat, I can throttle back on the starboard engine.
Look, they're all up, we should jump.
Time for a pit stop, I think. But this gives a chance to have all the data, which is really too much to see on an analog basis, and have the chance to see what's important, what's relevant at that point in time.
See, the great thing here is, see those 2 dials there, normally this data would just overwhelm us. I mean, we couldn't show it, there'd be too much. But going up into the cloud, the IBM analytics is pulling out what's important, actually for you, and allowing us to show it to you and the crew on the ground, isn't it? Because you've still got water pouring over here.
Right. All wet, yes. Yeah. So what I want to do is take you through what you can see here. This is our racetrack, right? This is where we tested the technology. It's probably the most brutal environment on the planet to make the instrumentation, the technology, and the data streams all work well. So this is what we got. We're racing on the circuit, and you've got the commentators, fans, officials, and sometimes our race team doesn't know what's going on. So we need a way to be able to visualize and share the information and the experience to these audiences, and that's the key component of what Virtual Eye does. But it's got to be enabled by the technology of taking the data. So you've got these key components here, which is the IBM Internet of Things in the cloud, and Bluemix with the analytics warehouse and the SPSS scoring service. And why that's important?
Yeah, this is the bit that makes a real big difference to us, and it's how we get the data from the boat. Normally that's coming straight to us on shore. Now you can take all of that data, pile it into the cloud, and then shift it across to your team.
It is. There's so much data in real time coming live, and so fast that no human can really consume that. So the benefit of having the IBM Predictive Analytics with SPSS, it sifts through all that data in real time, and it looks for what's important. It looks to detect and predict failures, possible failures, which then it shoots out through the Internet of Things, goes to Ian's software.
You need to push your button there so we can get it back, you see. Here it comes, see?
The alerts go backwards and forwards. And so what happens is that information then comes on 2 places. My crew chief's dashboard and my dashboard in the boat. So we can make it like when the water pressure comes up there, we can make a decision on what to do. But if we can do this in this environment, which is what we've done, having accomplished this, we can do it anywhere.
It's yeah, it's absolutely fantastic, opportunity here, and I really believe that while we're doing this in sport, it can apply anywhere in the world and anything. We could probably put it in Nick's car. He's driving to work. He could see who's bought the beer, who's bought the veal, who's bought the lamb.
Exactly, exactly. Now I want to thank John for driving the demo. This is actually with live data and simulation, and most of all, the master creator himself, Ian. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nigel. Here we are.